Ah yes, nothing is more fun than watching your wife trying to pack 30 pounds of clothes into a suitcase designed to hold 20. This is the morning that we were leaving as we were preparing to pack and go on board the train that goes up to Silverton. The evening before, we had checked into the General Palmer Hotel, which is in close proximity to the train terminal. This was a nice quiet room, and it even came with a gift. Well, not a gift, just kind of a gift.
There's a bear.
You got a teddy bear.
This is for your Palmer to use sweet dreams. Teddy bears may be adopted for 25 and up.
I had no time to set up surveillance. I put out a millimeter and got a couple of hits, which shows there was a little activity, but not enough to come back to. If your forte is ghost hunting, there are 3 places in town that you can stay to that date back to the 1800s, early 1900s. The General Palmer is one of them. As far as TripAdvisor goes, they have no reviews about any ghostly activity on their website. I could have been the first, actually. Then there is the Strater. Absolutely, this is the one that everyone tries to get into to investigate. There apparently is a lot of activity on the 4th floor, somewhere around the 412 room. But when people post it on TripAdvisor, and that's usually where you should read about it, patrons are usually quick to point out in the hotel reviews that they experienced something or that they hoped to experience something and that they didn't get anything at all, which was a disappointment. Now in this old hotel, if you read the reviews, you'll see that every time somebody posts anything about haunted activity, the management comes in right afterwards and leaves a notation that they think the only spirits that they have are the ones down in the piano bar downstairs. So I'm not certain that I would mention that I was an investigator going in. Last of the 3 is the Rochester. Now on the Rochester's website, they point out that there's all kinds of paranormal activity that is reported by their clientele. But again, look on TripAdvisor and you'll find that not a single patron has reported any kind of paranormal activity. It kind of makes me think that the owners have figured out that paranormal activity claims tends to attract rather than detract from a property, and they're trying to make the most of it by putting forth their own assertions. Alright, details on the next hotel will be when we get up to Silverton.
I was going to say a lot of people that live here.
But they don't all know. It's a chair, you know, they're not meant to be
I'm good. Today's my last day. I make them happy.
Morning. Good.
Yeah.
Way in the parlor. Thank you.
I'm going to put in my pocket.
Wow, cool.
Oh, look at those. That's kind of cool, those chairs. Chairs, I mean. I kind of like the table. That's how they do it. They don't turn a circle. That's cool.
It is.
Well, on the way back, all of these things okay, make me a little nervous.
Joe, we're coming up to a power plant up here.
Explaining to me there, that's like Morse code, they're codes.
Oh.
He said that 1 long and 3 shorts means they're stopping for water.
This was the second time that we stopped to take on water. Took a lot of steam to haul our fat butts up this grade. this is entering Silverton, and boy does it bring back a lot of memories for me. When I worked in the oil fields in upstate New Mexico, we used to come up here on the weekends and party. Man, was this a rough town at that time with Standard Metals going on. There was lots of miners in town, didn't mind duking it out in the bars if they had to. Now that gold mine, which at that time was the largest gold mine in the country, has pretty much folded up, and so has the town. It's considered kind of a summertime getaway place, and the property prices show it. In the wintertime, they have doors on the second floor so that you can actually get out because the snow level is 10 to 12 feet. During those days, the belle of the city was the Grand Imperial Hotel. I think it was the only hotel that existed in the city at that time. It has always had claims of paranormal activity, supposedly from this guy Luigi that shot himself in the head in room 314. By the way, those rooms have been renumbered since then, so you'll have to ask the management what room is correct. I remember one time back in the late 1970s that due to inclement weather, I had to spend a night here in this hotel, and the only room that was available was an internal room, as it's called, which means it's inside of the hotel, in the center of it. There's no windows, just a door to go in and out. Can you say claustrophobia? I'm glad nobody mentioned ghosts during that time. In the last 5 years or so, the Grand Imperial has undergone a $3 million renovation, which appears as though the spirits did not care for it, as the construction workers complained that nails and drywall was being chucked at them as they worked, and they'd head downstairs and sit in the parlor until it calmed down. The owners of this property are proud of their paranormal activity, and they have hosted many national ghost hunts here on this property. Feel free to ask them about anything that goes on in the hotel. I don't think they'll balk at telling you. There are actually 7 hotels and motels which grace Silverton today. But of those 7, the only other one that boasts activity is the Alma House. It's kind of an upscale hotel, maybe a bed and breakfast kind of deal. Not really certain. I haven't stayed there myself. It originally was constructed as a stopover for dignitaries of the railroad. It has been renovated into a 5-star hotel. And on TripAdvisor, some of the guests report paranormal activity during their stays. While the Grand Imperial reports more activity, the activity reported at the Alma House seems to be more intense and more realistic. What we found is if you're coming in on the train, the Grand Imperial and the other restaurants in the area are only open for a 2-hour period. After that, as soon as the train whistle blows, they shut right back up. So if you want to enjoy the town, you probably have to stay the night here. Heading back down to Durango, we take the same railroad tracks back down, but now you get to see everything that's on the other side from where you sat the first time. And going back down with gravity with us, we didn't have to stop for water. Guess that sells that argument. In June of 2018, the 416 fire burned many acres up here right where this filming took place. Although no structures were lost, it devastated the tourism industry. The state alleged that the fire started because of a burning ember that flew out of the smokestack of one of the trains here, and has lodged a $25 million lawsuit against this railroad. Before taking this tour now, I'd call ahead and see what areas were decimated by that fire. Wow, that's one big-ass dog that girl's got.
Their adventure.
That's like some story time. That's just Thompson's got to look at it.
What?
Amazing.
You know you're back home when you see a McDonald's on the horizon. One word of caution if you're going to take this trip. If you park your vehicle near the terminal here, the ashes will fall upon your car and you'll have to have it buffed out when you get back home. I know, I'm speaking from experience.